Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today, I'd like to break down how your surroundings, your teamwork is almost going to guarantee whether you're a success or not. But first, make sure to like, subscribe, and do share, especially if you find value in this presentation, okay? So this happens all the time, right? We're in a certain class category, okay? Let's call it middle class, lower class, and upper class, right? Most people fall into that middle class area. And in that area, you could do middle upper class, middle lower class. Okay, you could break it down however you want to. But this is the thing, okay? Most people stay, okay, in the class that their parents were in previously. Why is that? Okay, so we've seen many times parent doctors produce children to become doctors and vice versa. So they're surrounded by people, okay, and they're challenged by people that are challenging them, okay, in order to do some of the things that they're doing themselves. And if the parent does their job, okay, whatever job that is, to nourish and provide emotional support, financial support, educational support for that child will most probably end up on that same level as the parent. Very rare cases, okay, do we see children move up a class, okay, or down a class, okay? That does become a situation that does happen, okay? But it's always because that class of people have been changed, okay? Either for the upside or the downside, okay? From either side. Now, what do I mean by this, okay? So many a time, we'll see people who don't do so well in certain companies, and they are transformed once they move to a new company. And the reason that happens is because the sales team in the previous company that they were at were not operating at a level as this new company were. Okay, so putting yourself around surroundings, okay, that are going to challenge you, that are going to support you, that are not going to be judgmental to you and going to be reinforcing to you is very vital for anyone's success. So number one, you got to put yourself around and weed out all those negative people. There's a famous thing, okay, amongst marketing scholars, amongst psychology scholars that say that you're the average of your three friends. You're the average of your three closest friends, okay? So if you don't have good friends that have good money habits, you might want to make some new friends, right? That's the joke, right? And it's true, okay? And it happens to add some credence to who you are as a person. So you take an average of those closest friends to you, okay? And that's probably who you are as well, okay? It's not a good thing, not a bad thing. It just is, okay? And just gives you a barometer, or if you do want to move up a class, of what you'll need to do, okay? So surrounding yourself with positive people is essential. Now, I've seen this many a time when I was moving up, either in sales or in trading at any given time in my life. I always hovered to the people that were on top, okay? Always wanted to learn their tactics, understand what they were thinking, understand what they were doing and why they were doing it. And that's the most important thing, is to understand what their logic sequence is in order for me to reproduce their success, okay? They've done the work already. And sometimes tapping into that person's wisdom is just so essential in your own development. Yes, there are things that you need to go through yourself, but also having someone who's experienced it, explain it to you, okay? And most times these people are so approachable. Believe it or not, a lot of times you'll see that the people who are, at the top are much more approachable than you think. And what's the worst thing that you can do? You get a rejection, so you go to another person, okay? You could always tap into someone that knows more than you. Just recently, I was in the States. I was tapping into a childhood friend who became $100 million. The guy is super successful. And we spoke for about 10 minutes, and I said, do you mind if I ever call on you? And he's like, sure, do it anytime. I'm here. I'd love to answer your questions. And that's amazing, just because he's made himself so accessible to the public. You also get to tap in to what works and what doesn't work for these people. And you could weed out what doesn't work. You could also get into their methods and understand the sequence of what they came about to the method that they came about and how they came about to that method. Okay, that is so important. And when you trade stories, hey, I was one time going to this client and I tried and I went through this one, I went through that way, it didn't work out. And then I did this. Whoa, that's a breakthrough. I didn't think about that. And it's so essential. So any given time, not only do you get an educational boost, not only do you get an experience boost, you also get a support boost. And I can't emphasize this enough. Many people who go through adversities in life find themselves in some sort of support group. Now, making yourself vulnerable and going to a support group is probably the most courageous thing you could possibly do. Okay, I've been in a support group myself, and it was very challenging because you knew some people weren't really telling the truth and they were just trying to show a certain facade, and you had made yourself certain vulnerabilities to yourself. And that realism in that moment, okay, the realism of when someone else did share their vulnerabilities and you were able to carry it for them was just so powerful and enhanced and empowered yourself in that moment. And when you're working from that kind of frequency, you bring it in to the rest of your life. You're bringing it to your workplace, you're bringing it to your family life, you're bringing it to your own self as well. And it's just so important. So surrounding yourself with positive people, putting away some of the negative people, and living to that and living true to yourself vis-a-vis these people around you is so powerful. Check it out. Try it. We'll see you here next week on Motivational Mondays.